I always watch movies or I'm like drawing at the same. It's
Cody
actually hard for me
reached
just to watch a movie now because like when I'm watching a movie, I'm like, my hands start feeling weird. Like I should be drawing at the same time. I went to that because like COVID, there was no theaters, right? So we went to the theater with the kid to see Jurassic Park. And the whole time I was like in the theater being like, oh, I actually have to sit and pay attention.
Hey guys, welcome to Inside Comics with George Michail. Today my guest is the animal, Andy Belanger. Andy, thanks for being on the show, dude.
Hey, thanks, man. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing.
Excellent.
And I'm super psyched. Mother Trucker has come to Indiegogo, and
Yeah.
it's live right now. There's a link in the description of this video. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Kickstarter versus Indiegogo. What's the difference? Why have you decided to take your books over there this time?
Well, there's a few reasons. Straight up, actually, the interface is very close. Like when I was actually setting up the Indiegogo campaign, it was almost identical to a Kickstarter campaign, so it was quite easy. And what I would call my Indiegogo campaign is kind of like a second chance campaign or a pickup campaign, where the two books that I'm offering on Indiegogo, I've Kickstarted both those books. And now I'm just offering like the one tier we had on Kickstarter where those books come together. And it's for people that didn't pick up the book during the Kickstarters, can get it now because the books are coming into the studio this week. So I'm going to be shipping out. So it's their last chance to get Mother Trucker 1 and 2 before we launch Mother Trucker number 3 on Kickstarter. So, but I've had so many people come to me being like, why don't you launch on Indiegogo? I don't go on Kickstarter. Those kind of things came up a lot. So I'm just giving them a chance. And basically in the studio, we were thinking a few things. Is Indiegogo kind of like putting your product in another store, right? With a whole different group of people that go to that store? You know what I mean? It could be like Bed Bath & Beyond and Pure One Imports. Like, which one do you go to, right? But
not the analogy I was expecting from you, Andy, but
I just thought of that one. I used to work at Pure One Imports when I was in college as like the stockroom guy. So Pure One Imports just suddenly like fired into mine. And we thought maybe that was a thing. But what I think I've noticed is your fans will find you where they find you. So Kickstarter is kind of our base home for Lethal Comics and Mother Trucker and Psycho Gorman and some of the other stuff that we're launching this year. So Kickstarter has been our main base. So our main group of fans go there. But I mean, we have had like, there's been some okay sales coming in through Indiegogo, and we still have 3-4 weeks before we go, and then we get into Mother Trucker 3. But I mean, it wasn't the same sort of like explosion that you would have on Kickstarter. And I think it's because, my fans came at me on the first rounds of those crowdfunds. But this is sort of like a second chance campaign that a lot of people do. And we thought it would be a good idea right before we get into stuff. And the other problem we were facing is printing doubled. Like my printing for Mother Trucker 1 was somewhere around, 5,000-6,000. And this time it was like 9,000-10,000. And we were kind of like, oh my God. And Psycho Gorman is like even crazier. Like the cost of that magazine now is like wild. So one of the things we were looking at is like, maybe we throw like a second chance campaign to cover off some of these costs. Otherwise it's coming out of, my family's pocket, which some is going to anyway. And I hope to make up on Mother Trucker 3 and Psycho Gorman 2. And I'm going to be launching another campaign called BMXV in the fall, about 1980s BMX racers in a beach town that become vampires.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm just writing that one. I'm not drawing. My buddy Aurelio in Sicily's drawing it. So it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, just to stay on Indiegogo versus Kickstarter for another minute. I don't know. It seems like it's very politicized, like either you're with one camp or the other. And I just don't get it. Like, to me, like you said, it is like, different stores, right? And we're creators of products, and we want that to be available to whoever wants to buy it. So I don't know. I think it's totally cool. I've often thought about launching both at the same time. Like, hey, it's on Kickstarter and Indiegogo.
That's sort of like what we're looking at now, is maybe we just launch at the same time. It could work. I don't know what's going to happen. Based on what's happening on Indiegogo right now, I don't know that I'm going to launch them both at the exact same time. but you know, it's an experiment, and I'd like to see. And I think Twitter has made it extremely politicized, and I'm sure the people that work at Indiegogo don't want to like sit around being like, oh, we're like the racist bigot like crowdfunding thing, because it's not. Right. And with Kickstarter, it's like, oh, you guys are blockchain now, so you know, you're against the environment. You know, at the end of the day, you know, Twitter would just be happier if I was a bum. So
Twitter don't care.
I'm sorry, I have a wife, I have a 5-year-old daughter. Like, they need to eat, and being a comic creator is freaking hard. So, you know, we're gonna do what we need to do. And when it comes to politics, like, I'm pretty much like, I've found out in the last few years, I'm a middle guy, right? Middle left for sure. But as far as like some of this political stuff goes, you know, I don't think you get anywhere by division. I don't think you get anywhere by yelling at the other side. You're just making it worse. And as you're making it worse, the problems that are bigger than that are important, are getting worse, you know? So we need to unite and figure out how to move forward. You're not going to tell someone who's racist that, you know, you're racist and you're a piece of crap. You need to teach them not to be racist.
All right, let's talk about Mother Trucker. What's happening in these first 2 issues? Why should people go and get it?
Yeah, so Mother Trucker is basically the Wonder Woman of the space trucking wrestling world. And if you have the you know, Walmart championship belt, and I want to get your belt, and your belt is basically the contract for shipping, I'll roll up on side you and challenge you to a wrestling match, and our trucks transform into rings and we wrestle, and if I beat you, I get your contract to ship for Walmart, and I get your truck. And you have to go back to the unemployment line to get a new truck and new contracts, like baby contracts. So Mother Trucker is basically kind of like a Wonder Woman character who, after an explosion, gets rebuilt by the bad guy and has to go and reclaim her truck. And as she goes through the universe, she unfolds more parts of the life that she's forgotten. And she realizes she has a daughter out there, and she needs to, you know, figure out who that daughter is and how do I go back to being a mama, which is hence the name Mother Trucker. Right. So yeah, that's the story. And then the second one was really cool. Some of the new characters came in, and there was like a big wrestling match. But I write Mother Trucker stories so that they're self-contained, as opposed to like, you know, writing for graphic novels. I bookend the larger story at the beginning and the end, but the bulk of a Mother Trucker comic is fulfilling. You can read the story, and it has a beginning, middle, and end. And kind of like when we were kids in the 80s and early 90s, the story actually would have, you know, a coherent beginning, middle, and end for every issue.
That's super cool. Yeah, because I hate just picking up a comic and everything is always kind of building. And it's like, just give me something good right now, you know?
Yeah, I find like issue 1 blows me away, and then issue 2 and 3 put me to sleep, and I quit reading the book. I quit reading the series. You have no idea how many series I've done that with. Tons in the last like 10 years. I'll pick up number 1. Cool idea. Amazing. Issue 2 and 3, I'm asleep. So,
and you guys have a new cover.
Yeah. So a friend of mine, Board Inker, that I met on Instagram, we started talking back and forth, and he just started doing covers for me. And like the first one he did, like it wasn't even commissioned. He just sent me a cover, and I was just like, holy crap, it's amazing. You should see, I've been posting it online so you can see it. It's one with Mother Trucker kind of like holding her hat. It's fantastic. That guy's amazing. You should probably like give him a call, like for some of your stuff. He's awesome. That guy's awesome. So
that's available for the first time on the Indiegogo.
Yeah, it's available for the first time on the Indiegogo as an add-on. So if you get the double pack, you can order it, and then it will be available in the next Kickstarter too as a tier. I had a few people be like, hey, you know, we missed this chance on our Kickstarters. And I was just like, don't worry, you'll have plenty of time to get this cover on other ones.
Awesome. So I've included a link to Mother Trucker on Indiegogo in the description of this video. So everyone go out there and click that link and go on back Andy's book. And really quick, I'd be remiss not to mention that we had a little collaboration for my series, Cover of Darkness Origins. It's in previews in September. It'll be in stores in November. Andy, you absolutely just slayed it on our vampire origin story. It's amazing work.
I will say this. I definitely slayed freaking hard on that cover. I don't know what happened. I was just like, I was literally like watching vampire movies and started drawing that cover, and I was just like, let's make the whole background black, and all of a sudden that cover, like, I think is the best cover I've ever done. Like, I've done a whole whack load of covers, but that cover for some reason just like came out like probably the best cover. Every time I post it, like, it gets like crazy likes and tons of people commenting, and it's kind of the best cover I've ever done.
I've been doing prints of that cover, and it's sold out the last 2 shows.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, I should do prints of it.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Definitely do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. I'm happy, man. That's awesome. That's literally probably the best cover I've ever done. It was like it's really cool.
Awesome.
I was happy with it.
Yeah,
the inside page just getting to draw Vlad was dope, but
it looks so good, dude. I'm so psyched about it.
Cool. Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
So that's it for Inside Comics, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you back Andy's book on Indiegogo. And until next time, peace.
See you later, guys.